Well, hello again. This is episode 24. The year is 2021. And a lot happened this year. But the most important thing that happened this year is we had a new addition to the Wilson clan, and his name is Lincoln Alexander. So Lincoln Alexander Wilson. He was born in 21, and this is Chase's second child. And here he is. So, and before we said that Rain was really starting to walk. Well, here's her really walking good with a shopping cart. Okay, so not only is Rain walking, she's also talking. And here's a great picture of Grandma Julie holding Lincoln Alexander and Rain Elizabeth playing in a box, because all the other toys are great, but nothing like the box. Here's a picture of them taking a nap, or attempting to take a nap. Here's Big Sister checking out her little brother. And there's Daddy and Rain. And look at this picture. Great picture. Holding her little brother. And there's Uncle Steven checking out this new baby. So, early in the year, and Julie and I have purchased this van. And you will find out later on why we purchased this van. But we purchased this van for a special reason. And we got this thing used. It was in good condition. The price was right. It was super cheap. I don't remember what it was, but it was like $15K. It only had like 30,000 miles on it. So we bought it from the dealership, and we had some stuff that we needed to bring to Montana. So between this van and renting a U-Haul trailer, we packed up both of them, and Carlos jumped in the van and Steven jumped in the van, and off to Montana we went. So here's one of the stops along the way, and here's Carlos at a restaurant. Here's Carlos behind a Big Bear sign, and here's Carlos at one of the hotels deciding he needed to go down the kiddie slide in the swimming pool. Let's watch this in slow motion. Well, we drove this van and U-Haul trailer full of stuff all the way from Texas to Montana, long haul, about 1,800 miles. Anyway, we got there. We were sweating to death in Texas, and we get there, and it was just a little bit chilly, as you can see, when we got to the ranch, and started to snow the next morning, and it snowed pretty good. You can see snow everywhere. Will it stick? I doubt it. But I think Carlos was a little cold. So good thing he had that nice warm hat. Stick him up, Carlos. Okay. So remember that new generator we got? So for some reason, it's just running terrible. So Carlos and I are looking at this thing, and we're checking it out, and we can't not figure why this thing seems like it's running on 3 cylinders instead of 4. Check all the cylinders for spark, pulled all the spark plugs, pulled them out one at a time. Every one of them sparking, they're sparking nice. Just can't figure out what's going on with this thing. Well, after quite some time, I finally thought about it. And years earlier, I had a motorcycle. And for some reason, that motorcycle would not run. It had a spark plug that would not fire under compression. Take it out of the motor, hook it up to the wire, you had the prettiest blue spark you ever saw. Put it back in the engine, wouldn't run. Change spark plugs, motorcycle ran great. So what are the chances of this happening twice to somebody in their lifetime? So I grabbed a new spark plug, and grabbed this particular spark plug, because this is the one for this particular generator. And I changed the plug one after another until I got to, I believe, to the third one. So to test my theory, make sure I was right, I put the old spark plug back in, it ran on 3 cylinders. Put the new spark plug back in, it was gapped right, everything was perfect. That particular plug just would not fire under compression. Anyway, got that thing up and running good. So you can see here we've rented a Bobcat, and I have a brush cutter on the front of it, because not only do I need to cut some brush for some upcoming projects, it says it'll knock to 8 inches thick. I'm telling you, it'll knock down 10-inch trees. So this thing was a mean machine. Let me tell you, you don't want to get in front of this thing. So this is the underneath of that machine. This is what it looks like. This thing spins at ungodly amount of speed. And when those blades come out, it is unbelievable. Well, there was a big mess in the back of the old Yeller, the truck, and Carlos and I decided to clean it out, get all the junk out of the back, leaves and that kind of stuff. And I was so surprised that, you know, after all these years, that rhino lining stuff that Chad put in here, I'd say it's holding up pretty good. Like I said, I don't know what it was. It was a do-it-yourself kit, so it's not actual rhino lining, but it was, you know, more or less the same type of stuff. And it's not the best, but this is an old bed, and like I said, it's holding up great. Well, we had problems with the front gate. Didn't want to open, so checking things out. Yep, we opened up the battery box. You know, this has 2 6-volt batteries to make a 12-volt system. Yeah, it looks like a mouse has come in there and made one heck of a home. I think we need to get this cleaned out, and we probably fixed our problem. And that's exactly what it was. Well, there's these old stagecoaches. I don't know what you actually call these things. Horse pulled buggy, something like that. Anyway, here's Carlos checking those things out. Looks like the wheels come off this one. I wonder if he's about to hula hoop. Okay, so going back just a little bit, on that trip up to Montana, we just happened to stop in Nebraska on our way. And we stopped at an auction. And this was a poultry and bird auction. So as you can see here, we have a set of pheasants, golden headed pheasants. I don't know the exact name of this particular pheasant, but it was pretty awesome. And I was like, how cool would it be to have those on the ranch? And we picked up some guineas, and they're pretty cool and pretty loud. Here's that pheasant and the female, the hen. Here's a different pheasant. Pretty wild looking thing, isn't it? Almost looks like it has a plastic face. And so here's these birds, and we're gonna let them go and let them wander around the ranch, and you know, hopefully they make it mass produce. Pretty cool looking birds. And we picked up, there was this box before the auction started. I guess some people sell birds there before the auction starts. And this guy had like 50 quail for like $25. Now how do you beat 50 cents a piece? And this other guy had like another 30 or 40 for like $15. Like, okay. So we bought them all, and you know, we fed them and let them hang around, and you know, eventually they kind of spread out, and hopefully they'll produce, you know, and be all over the ranch everywhere. Be nice to have quail everywhere. These guys are pretty small, but one or two of them did lay an egg, so they were mature enough to lay eggs. So, and here they are. We're just kind of letting them out and do their own thing, and they didn't seem to mind us much. So, you know, we came up and fed them, and they'd walk away from us, but they wouldn't run or fly. Well, remember in the last episode I told you guys I had to dig under the road and put that pipe in 5 foot deep because, you know, we planned on getting electricity. Well, the electric company finally showed up, and this is what they showed up in. Let's watch this little video. As you can see, this is a pretty good sized dozer, and on the back of it, that spike, they drag that thing in the ground and it just puts the cable under the ground. And it was so big, it actually has another dozer that pulls it. So one dozer pulls the other dozer. So this is a pretty good size operation. But anyway, they came in, and about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, they ran cable under the ground. So they're working on getting our electricity. Well, here's a picture of the finished pond area. And as you can see, there's water in it. So not sure if it's going to hold or not at this time. It's quite a bit of water in the bottom. It's got a long way to go. And we're wondering, okay, is this going to hold water? Do we need to get bentonite? Do we need to put a liner in it? I don't know. So we took quite a few pictures of it, and actually took these pictures so I could send them to somebody to ask about the stuff. So anyway, this is a drawing, a rough drawing of that pond and the different dimensions that we marked out on this pond. From, across is like this one's 132 feet, and then right here it's 130 feet across, and here it's 931 feet. Yes, feet. This is 961 feet across. So, it's a pretty good sized pond. And you can see at some places, we put a string across it and we would come down. It was 6 feet, 9 feet in the middle, 6 feet over there. So it's not super deep, but it's basically, it's got that 12-foot depth part, way out to the east or the southeast of the pond. And then it goes 996. So, it is what it is. So we needed the dirt to build that pad. So anyway, let's check out these guineas here. Okay, so here's two other birds we got. So these two turkey. So one is a black turkey and the other one is a blue slate turkey. So these two were like brothers. They were inseparable. They constantly stayed around one another. So because they were black and blue, we decided to name them the Bruise Brothers. Not the Blues Brothers, but the Bruise Brothers. So they're pretty wild. And by the way, these turkeys followed us every single place we would go. If we went somewhere, these turkeys were 10 feet away from us. They had to watch what we're doing. It was like, are they ever going to go eat, drink? They just stayed with us no matter where we were at on the ranch. Well, as you can see, it's about 180 degrees outside. It's one of the hottest days. We have seen 111 there one time, but 108 is pretty hot. So remember last episode last year, we started that tradition. It's time to head back down to Fort Smith. So, and here we go. So Bighorn Angler, we're back. Again, we came in Saturday night. We fished Sunday morning, stayed Sunday night, got up Monday morning, drove back. Took us like 2 hours down there and 2 hours back. Perfect. And Chase was not able to make it this year since he had a new son, and now he's got two kids he's got to, take care of. So they're pretty young. So instead, Carlos went with us. So there's Steven over there in the boat. Let's watch him catch this fish. As you see, Steven caught that fish, and Carlos tried and probably hung about 5 or 6 fish to get him close to the boat, and they got off every time. So I think he needs a little more practice with the whole fly fishing thing. So here's a picture of Julie with another catch. Great looking trout. Here's one of my catches, and once again, Julie won. So she caught more fish than anybody. So way to go, Julie. All right, so this big rock. So I found this rock, right around Valentine's Day a couple years earlier. And I told Julie, I said, I've got your Valentine's Day present. There was this huge rock that was in the shape of a heart. Well, Chase and Steven and I drug this rock that probably weighed 3,000 pounds from behind the property all the way around to the front. And this is probably about a 2.5, 3 mile trek. So anyway, we got it up there, and since I had the equipment, I actually dug a hole for this rock, and I made it stand up. Well, the bad thing is, when I made it stand up, it really doesn't look like a heart anymore. Julie knows it's a heart. We all know it's a heart. But here it just doesn't. Well, she wanted to paint it, so she painted it blue. I'm not sure this is quite the color blue she wanted, but that's what she picked out, and I don't know if she was extremely happy with it or not. She put a bunch of topsoil in front of it, planted all her flowers, and I think it came out looking pretty good. So this is just outside her gate, and I like it. And here's a picture. It looks like Julie has found some antlers, some sheds somewhere. Yeah, and she looks pretty scary. All right, and here's Carlos sitting on the drag. I think we needed a little extra weight, and since we dragged this thing slow, I think he just jumped on and went for the ride. And here's a picture of a couple of our sheep here. They're looking pretty good. We acquired about, if I remember right, 13 or 14 red bourbon turkeys. I think there was 2 males and the rest were hens, females. So, well, the Bruise brothers that were always so kind and nice and went everywhere together, the minute all these female turkeys were there, the hens were there, they became instant enemies. And it was like a fight to the death. Let's watch this. We had to separate these guys so many times, it was unreal. You know, first we tried to let them work it out to see who was going to be the boss, numero uno and dos. Yeah, they never figured it out. So, well, let's just add a few more birds. Why not? A few more turkeys. So, here's some turkeys walking around out here, the red bourbons. As you can see, the facilities there in the back and a little camp trailer, and you're kind of looking at the future site of where we want to build that pad we built. Well, here's some of the sheep and goats, and just taking a picture on the property. Everybody looks happy and fat. So here they are again. See a couple babies out there with them. So here's King Kong and Queen Kong. Looks like they're headed for that lower water tank, lower corral. And here's a deer walking by the slab. Got caught on camera. So slab's looking good. And this is Julie driving in the gate. So here's a good picture of what we talked about last episode, where we actually took that extra pipe and welded it up there with a big W up there in the top. So, and we took the van and we drove it over to Wes and Carrie's house and dropped it off. And we decided it's time to fly back home. Here's us on the plane with our lovely mask on. And here's the sky leaving Montana. And to show you guys what happened the rest of the year. This is a picture of Julie's back. So she got that back surgery finally. And she's been doing great ever since. Eventually she got those stitches out. And look who's having her second birthday here. Miss Rain. So sitting on the table, going to town. And this is Julie and I with Rain and Lincoln. We all went to this Mexican restaurant, had a good meal. And here's a picture from our Christmas party with David and Deanna and Julie and myself. And I really thought it was funny because look who had to start wearing glasses this year. You might have to wear them, but not me yet, sir. And Steven got a bicycle. He's like, hey, Dad, I want a bicycle. I said, well, let's go find what you want. So he never wanted a car, but he wanted this bicycle. I said, not a problem. All right, guys. Well, that will do it for the year 2021. Wasn't super exciting, but we got some animals on, some more critters out there on the ranch, and we got that slab built. And time to get a real game plan together and get this house started. So I will see you guys in the next episode. And till then, thanks for watching.
If you feel we've earned it, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.